Because this guy is scum of the earth and is persistent like a cockroach. Shall I show you where the final destination of my train of logic leads? First, Mr. Albert Close the fountain spouts in advance in preparation for things to come. Then he took the pushcart that was brought to the Rose Garden and pushed it along with the Iron Infant and Mr. Coach's body into the pool. At this time, Sheena was busy conveniently starting the first fire in the bar. Then she made for the open air stage pool and to wait for the fighting effort to begin. When the firefighters used the water in the pool, the water level went down. And by the time the fire was put out, the pipes between the two pools were exposed. Oh, chicken tikka is so good. This is when she pushed the pushcart from Alabans. Oh god, my voice just broke there. Sheesh. From Alabans into Babal. This is what happens when I do that voice like this for a long period of time. Once that was accomplished, Mr. Alba simply opened the fountain spouts once more. And the water level rose up to its original level, along with Miss Sheena on the body. After that, Miss Sheena used the pushcart to carry the body up to the Secretariat's office. There is an elevator in the embassy after all, so you see, even with her small frame, it would be easy to transport. She could easily have transported Mr. Coach's body. And that wraps up my thorough explanation of how the body was moved. No. Well, ex-Ambassador Alba, what do you think? Not so untouchable without your precious extraterritorial rights to protect you, are you? I knew you could do it, Miss Edgeworth! Why to fight back? You accuse me of moving the body across the country lines? But when you get down to the nitty-gritty, you don't have what it takes to indict me. The nitty-gritty? What does the old man want now? Proof. I believe that's what he seeks. Yes. Proof. Without any who is to say whether or not any of what you said actually happened. What's proof? What are we going to do, Miss Edgeworth? There's no need to worry. I have all the proof we needed all along. The body wasn't the only thing to go through the pools connecting the pipes tonight. Just as Detective Gumshoe found the pushcart in the open air stage area, so too did I find one other item there. And that piece of evidence is what will prove that the pools were the smuggling route. This was another thing that was smuggled to Babal's open area stage.
Take that!
And what exactly is this? You have no idea, do you? This little piece that I found on the bubbly side will be your undoing. My guitar pick? Would you care to explain how that was going to do me in, as it were? Much to your chagrin, perhaps, but this is not a guitar pick. What? This is something I found at the open-air stage, which was transported with a body. I naturally assumed that you would recognize it, since you took a photo with it after all. But since you don't know, allow me to fill you in about what I found at the stage actually belongs to.
Take that!
Let's take a good look at the murder weapon that was used to kill Mr. Koshin. On the handle of this knife there is a beautifully blooming flower. However, it would appear that it is missing one single petal. Now, let's see what happens when we try to fit this pick onto that open slot. Hey, it's a perfect fit! I assume that the petal must have fallen off during the flower during Mr. Koshin's murder. And then it was accidentally placed into the pushcutter along with Mr. Koshin's body. That's an interesting story, nothing more. Objection! Oh, I assure you that it's more than just a story, because for some odd reason this flower petal was wet when I found it. It was wet, you say? Yes, and the only place it could have gotten wet from is the open air stage pool. Now I ask you, how did such a part of the weapon which was smuggled into the theatre wind up in the open air stage area of the bubbly side of the embassy? I don't think we need to waste any more words to explain this, as the petal explains it all for me. It proves that someone went from the Rose Gardens pool into the bar. Impossible! The people of Zangfar have been waiting to see you face to face, Mr. Alba. I'll tell everyone back home we'll be there soon. You should be happy. Why? Is it late for to be asking that question? You should have known from the very beginning, when you took your first life. No matter how you may plot or how you may try to cover it all up, you can never hide from your crime what you've done. Because we're here to see to it that justice is served to people like you. You can't call it you cop. Because you give it a perfect argument. You know, I don't think this guy is going to ever admit his wrongdoings, Mr. Edgeworth. Because he values himself above all else. People can't be negotiated with, or people who refuse to admit that when they're lost. I don't believe those kinds of people really exist because everyone breaks eventually. You're right. In that case, I have no choice but to use all the evidence I have. I'll use it all until he breaks under the weight of his crimes. Mr. Alba, I request that you testify once more. This really will be the end of the line. Yes, Pix, there is another part. This part is not very long, however. It's actually very short. Oh, short. There's a lot of exposition going on. It never ends. Mr. Alba, I requested you to testify once more. As if there's anything else for me to testify about. I still have yet to fully prove it was Mr. Alba that murdered Mr. Koshin. Well, I would like to hear about your movements before the murder occurred. I wonder if you could please tell us about what you did here at the Theatrum Neutralis. Very well. I suppose I could tell you a bit about that. Because about all I did was watch the Steel Samurai stage show. Elaborating on even that alone is good enough for me. The only way for me to place this man under arrest is to pinpoint the exact location of where the murder took place, for that is the key to this investigation. I was from the last row. The stage was well lit, but it was dark out in the audience. I sweat while I was there by the audience, but it's hard to prove that, I suppose. I do remember the contents of the show very well, though. Is that proof enough for you? Those moving scenes were seared into this old land's heart. I'll never forget them. So, you were in the theater proper watching the Steel Samurai stage show, were you? Of course I was. I have a great fondness for the Steel Samurai. Yeah, I was pretty cool there, wasn't I? You're not the one who was cool. It's the Steel Samurai who was cool. Yeah, and the Steel Samurai special finishing move today was really something, huh? I'm afraid I can't pause for 10 minutes, though. Sorry. There's someone on a schedule today. Hey, G, who's he? Sure, she. Who's a superhero girl? I know, it's crazy. There must be Doom. She's been studying this whole time and only now he notices her. Her name is Kay Faraday and she's helping me in my investigation. Sorry I didn't get to introduce myself earlier, but hey, better late than never. Yeah, so okay, I'm loaded boots! Silence in the peanut gallery. There's no time for such trivialities at a time like this. I mean, the problem is that I technically have 15 minutes left to stream, and I will only be going over time because I want to finish this case so I can get on to Nier next time. So there's that. Mr. Prosecutor, this is the final battle, you got that? I know. This is the end for that man there. Now that's the kind of thing I like to hear. I think we'll give trusting your try, Mr. Prosecutor, or rather, Mr. Edgeworth. I'll leave the critical battle up to you, Mr. Edgeworth. Have no fear, I will finish the job. This is really the endgame. The time has come to expose every last one of Mr. Alba's lies. And there is only one thing to press here. Only one thing. This is nothing to press. Nothing to press. This one. So, what was the finishing move? Well, I remember the colors of the shows as well myself. That's nice. That's nice. Miles Edgeworth, don't allow yourself to be riled up by him at this important juncture. I wasn't planning to let him. Well, if you ask me, I think I'm the biggest Steel Samurai expert around here. And don't you think today's climatic scene of today, the show wasn't just awesome? Yes, I remember that well. And that spectacular special move. The way you delivered a spinal blow against the evil magistrate. Early summer rain jab. Oh, that scene will live on in my heart forever. Is that how it went? I totally forgot all about that. How could you forget your own special moves? It's a special attack that the Steel Samurai uses when he's using the Samurai Spear. Yes, and today was the first time I showed it off, was it not? If I hadn't watched the show, how could I answer the name of your move? I suppose you are correct, but if you could please elaborate this one point for me. Because... Yes, Pix, you're right. We are winning this battle with Edgeworth closet nerdiness. The special move today was the early summer rain jab. Is that your final answer?
Objection!
You little irritating gnat. Do you think you can trip me up by asking the same question over and over? That was not my intention. Your testimony is more than sufficient. However, I believe it would be wise for you to take a look at this. The Samurai Spear? What about it? This spear actually never made it onto stage today. Excuse me? Unfortunately for you, tonight's Steel Samurai happened to be a goof of a young man with an abundance of useless hot-bloodedness. Having said that, said useless man bent the spear during his rehearsal this evening. Kay, do you remember what the Steel Samurai special move was tonight? It was a Steel Samurai Sushi Slash! Correct. Because he couldn't use a spear, a last-minute change was made. Had you really been watching the show, you would have known that the move that was used. Chronicles Alba, you didn't even watch a single minute of the Steel Samurai stage show, did you? So he wasn't watching the stage show tonight. Then it opens the possibility that he was busy killing Mr. Koshin instead. So where were you during the show? I demand an answer now. What's so funny? You're so sloppy. And so are your conclusions. I still insisted I watched the show, most of it in any case. What do you mean by most of it? You see, during the show, I left my seat for a spell to visit the bathroom. I assume that was when the dramatic scene was played out on stage. That's the lousiest, lamest excuse I've ever heard in my life, pal! Just with the name wrong. We can't really use that as proof that he didn't watch the show at all. And here we... As a fan of the Steel Samurai, I wanted to watch the entire show, honestly. As a Steel Samurai fan, for someone who wasn't even in his seat at the top time of the show, you have no right to call yourself a Steel Samurai fan ever. Who was that now? That would be Island Lady. Larry, what are you doing interrupting me like that? LG! Just hold on for a second, I beg. You may never accept this old man as a Steel Samurai fan, but I totally think he's a Steel Samaniac. What exactly is a Steel Samaniac, pal? I believe he meant to say Steel Samurai Maniac. Yeah, and trust me, I know a real fan when I see one because I'm the Steel Samurai. I will never acknowledge you as the true Steel Samurai. Why do you get so worked up all over Edgeworth? There's a real samurai recognizes me as a fan. As well he should, for I am a fan. It is not as though I missed the entire show. It was just an amazing show filled with the spirit of the young and the young at heart. The sarcasm drifting up, his long wooden nose couldn't run any thicker. Getting the name of the move wrong proves that he didn't watch the last scene. What I really need here is something more definitive. Something that links Mr. Alba directly to the murder of Mr. Manikoshin. You know what, Grams? You're really something else. I am honored to receive such praise from the Steel Samurai, but what is it for? Well, I was just wondering how you found about the early summer rain jam. That move is a bit of a secret and only a small portion of the staff know about it. Wait, it was a secret. Larry, wait, what did you say just now? Huh? Did I say something stupid again? Did you say that the early summer rain jam was actually a secret? Well, maybe I should have said a secret. It's more like I only decided the name of the move right before the start of the show. Right before? Yeah, the stage director was going nuts because we were supposed to debut the move. About 5 minutes before the show, we threw it up on the dressing room's whiteboard. Early summer rain jab. That's it. That's kind of how we decided the name of the move. But by that time, I'd already bent the spears, so I guess the whole thing was pointless. All you Steel Samurai actors are the same. The director has my complete sympathy. The director has none of mine. So basically, because we changed the move to the sushi slash, we kind of pretended that the early summer rain jab didn't exist at all. I mean, it would be bad if someone found that we'd changed the move, so we made a secret. Oh, some comforting ice cream. Well, be back. I hope you're back soon then. So basically, a gag order was issued for publicity's sake. I would love some ice cream myself, but I'm gonna have to abstain. You can almost make the early summer rain jab sound like a lost art. Yeah, which is why I think most of the staff haven't even heard the move. Those lips of yours still. What the heck, old man? I've done nothing to listen, but from what I can tell is unrelated to the case. It's all very tedious and a pointless exercise in wasting time, just like a shit show. Mr. Alba, I believe the one who should be quiet now is you. How dare you! I suspect that you have already noticed. Laziness is the best. Exactly what the very severe implications are in this man's testimony. So now you're trying to bully me, huh? There are no implications to read into a behind-the-scenes story of a kid's show. Don't even think about trying to slither your way out of this one, Quernicus Alba. Quernicus Alba. You're the one who said it yourself. The name of the move was Early Summer Rain Jab. But that name was only decided upon right before the show was about to start. So, what are you driving at? The name of the move you told us was never used and the show never said out loud. Well then, would you care to tell us about how you found out the name of that move? Because I can only think of one way you could have known. Quernicus Alba, the only way you could have known this name of the special move is because you saw it. You knew the name was because you saw it. You saw it up on the dressing room's whiteboard. Ice cream's amazing. You kinda are, Mina, but it's fine. I'm happy to share these games with everyone. The staff members who knew were keeping it a secret, so we couldn't have simply gone up to a staff member and asked, which means that the only other option left for you to saw it on a whiteboard. So that's what Mr. Alba was in a waiting. So that means Mr. Alba was in a waiting room at some point, right? What's the big deal, sir? I don't see what he means. There's another piece of evidence that has a great deal to do with the dressing room. So, we can't afford to let this slide.
Take that!
The pushcart that was used to move the body was right there in the dressing room. During the show, the pushcart awaited its turn to be pushed onto the stage in the dressing room. And was finally pushed there along with the Iron Infant in the last scene of the show. And then, right after the show ended, it went into the Alabaster along with the Steel Samurai. Which means that the only time the killer could have placed the body inside the pushcart was when the pushcart was in the dressing room backstage. So, basically the killer has to be someone who visited the dressing room during the show. Precisely. Oh, but wait! What if, and this is just a what if the murder didn't take place in the dressing room? What do you mean, Kay? I have to admit, she brings up a valid possibility. During the show, the dressing room is supposed to be devoid of people. Anyone going to the private dressing room would stand out like a sore thumb. But despite that, the killer would still manage to move the body with a pushcart. Correct. And it's because of the setup of the theater's dressing room that it would be an ideal location for the murder of Manny Koshin. Versus Alba. During the show, you went down to the dressing room, and I want to know why. Yes. Yes, I was there. I went into the dressing room. I knew it! I'm placing you under arrest right now, pal. You got it? Arrest! Not so fast. What is it now? Don't I deserve a chance to explain myself? Explain? What is there to explain? I believe I told you earlier that I went to the bathroom. Well, I got lost when I did. I wanted to ask for directions, but when I opened the door for the dressing room, there was no one inside. And that's when I saw the name of the move on the whiteboard. You punk. Still trying to get out of this. Do you really think you can get away with at this point? Mr. Edgeworth, is there anything you can do to stop him? I don't have enough evidence on how to do anything. I don't have the airtight evidence I need to put this man away for good. Yeah, he is, Pigs. But if that's what I need, then perhaps. Agent Lang, I believe an investigation of the dressing room in question is in order. It's possible that we may find evidence there. Yeah, if Mr. Edgeworth pokes around in there, I'm sure we'll find some new facts, pal. Oh, if we use Little Thief, we might even learn something from recreation. We don't need to do any of that. What? Wolfie, how could you? I'm not saying this would be mean. It's just that we've already searched there. My men are really something else. And they found nothing? There's only one thing I can say to you, says that there's found nothing, that's it. I guess you're right. If they found something, they would have reported this to us. They couldn't find anything because there was nothing to find. And if there's no info there to feed into Little Thief, then I can't do much to help either. Is this the end? The murder took place in this theatre, which is not protected under extraterritorial rights. And the fact that it was Mr. Alba himself who committed the murder. If I can't prove both statements to be true, Mr. Alba walks away a free man. Is there no other course of action we're supposed to do? It appears that your hand of cards has turned out to be a bust. Now if you'll excuse me, because of you people I missed my flight. Now I must hail vacation to arrange for a new one. Who is it this time? And who do you think it is this time?
I bet it's old bag or something.
No, right there, you whippersnapper! Oh, first Larry and now you! Whatever that scary mobster-like scowl on your face, Lady Pooh? Don't treat me like I'm some sort of nuisance. I've been meaning to say this, but all of you keep talking about things I don't get at all. Oh, you're leading this lady in this sad, depressing, lonely destiny, and I'm about to cry in. Why did you have to speak up right at this instant? But you know what, Edgy Pooh? Cheer up. Because I'm about to give you the most wonderful thing. The most wonderful thing from you. super special that I couldn't just give it away to just anyone, you know. My special present of love to my sweet Edgy Pew. Are you ready?